Hi, you're welcome to this module. In this module, I'll be walking you through understanding the Figma environment. So Figma is divided into two parts, or you can use Figma for several functions, but basically you use Figma for design and for whiteboard presentation. So the design part is called, you can see the design part here, this blue part, why this is for the presentation, whiteboard presentation. So we use Figma for presentation, just like the way we did Miro in my previous lecture. We talked about presenting your user research on Miro. So FigJam works like Miro is for presentation and for diagramming and all of that. So we also have the design part. So when you launch your Figma after you've registered, the interface will look like this. So you can find the recently viewed file here, that if you viewed someone else's file, maybe someone sent you a link and all of that. So you'll see templates in this part, and this is where you launch your Figma proper for design. So on this part, you see community. When you click here, you can see Figma community. I'll talk about community as we make progress in the training. So but for now, let's just launch our Figma environment, our design environment, so we can understand how to use the tool and come up with awesome design interface. So I'll click plus for new design. So this is what it looks like. So when you launch your Figma, this is what it looks like. So this is divided into 4 parts, and I'll be explaining all 4 parts. So we have this top part, which is where you find your tools. I will explain each of them. We have your right part. Is this the right here? I think it is. So there are some functions here I'm going to explain to you. We also have the left. I will explain. So I'll begin with the top. So let me start from here. So this is main menu. When you want to go back to your main menu, you click on this Figma logo sign. It takes you to the main menu where we came from. Let's try it out. So if I click back to files, it takes me to this place. So I want to go back to my design, so I'll click on new design file. So there are other things. Okay, please. So when you click on this main menu, it takes you back. So if you click on this drop down icon, you'll see a bunch of options. Okay, new design file, new FigJam file, new from sketch, another. You can place image from here. You can also edit, like paste. Let's not really do more of this. You can see quite a lot of options, how to add plugins, widgets and all of that, preferences, library and more. You can also get this app on your desktop. When you click on this get desktop app, you download Figma automatically to your desktop, but I prefer using Figma on my web browser. So that's what this part will give you. So the next we have here is our move tool. These are the Figma tools, all these things you see here. So I tell you that designs is all about putting up components together to achieve your desired goal. So in course of putting up components, you will need to move components around your canvas, your design canvas. So this is the move tool. There are two tools here. We have the move and the scale tool. The scale tool helps you scale objects and shapes or images properly, appropriately, you understand. So if you click on the scale tool, let's take for instance, if I draw this like this, if I draw this like this, okay, I want to even do something safe. Right post. So I want to set my preference. I like using dark theme mode, so I'll just come here under the menu. I'll go to preference. I want to change my theme to dark theme mode. I'll just select dark. and I'll make my page background is white. Let me just make it dark from here. I think something like this is good. Okay, let me just make it a little bit different from, okay, so this is dark background already. So as we continue, I was talking about the move to and the scale to. So I've just drawn an image, an object rather. So with my move to, you see the move to is selected, so I can move this to any part of my canvas. Can also edit, I can edit it using the move to. So I was trying to talk about the scale to. So if I use the scale to, for instance, I'm going to scale this object proportional, like equally. You see that every part of this thing is moving, is increasing in all proportions and all of that. So that's the function of the scale to. Why? Whereas the move to, the scale to can also move object, but when you are trying to increase the size, it scales it proportional, like all side. But if I'm using the move to now, you see what's happening. I can change it like this. It doesn't scale proportionally, but the scale to does the effect. So that's for the move to. So on this part, we've addressed the move and the scale to. So for the short key, we have V for the move to and K. So if I just press K on my keyboard, for instance, I've changed it to the scale, so I can just select and do what I want to do. So the next on our list is your frame. This is your design canvas. You understand? This is where you find your tools. This is the title of your project. This is where you find the properties of whatever you are working on or whatever is selected. So if I click on this shape, you see the properties there, the width, the height, the angle. I could give it maybe 20 degrees. You see how it's going to tilt. So I could take it back to 0. So these are the properties, the property bar. I'll just call this property bar. So under the property, we have design, we have prototype, we have inspect. We'll work more with prototype and design, then we'll leave inspect for the developer. So UI design does not have anything to do with coding, but since you work with developers or you collaborate with developers, they use more of the inspect to get the codes and all of that. So I'm still trying to explain the two. So the next thing is the frame. Whenever you are designing, you need to design inside a frame. So if you are designing for a phone, maybe an iPhone, you select iPhone frame. We have different kinds of frame. We have the phone frame, tablet, desktop, presentation, watch, paper, social media posts, Figma community, and archive. So for the phone frame, if I click here, I'll see the different phone sizes. So I could choose maybe iPhone 13 Pro Max, iPhone 13 Pro, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 8, whatever the case may be. Let me just use iPhone 13 Pro Max, and you see what's happening. I'll hold control to zoom out. So this is what, so I do my design, or you have to do your design inside the frame. If you are designing for maybe a website on desktop mode, you just come here and click desktop. So you select the size of the frame. I'm using 16 inches laptop. So this is what it looks like. So let's say I'm designing for a tablet now. I'll just come here, select the tab I want, maybe tab 11 and all of that. So these are, you get your frames for your design. You understand? So if you don't just design on the design canvas, this black space is the design canvas. It's as big as you can imagine. So you can do quite a lot of designs here, but you design inside your frame. So okay, what do I want to do in normal social media posts? I could just still come here and select social media. Maybe I'm designing for Instagram, or just, and I do my design. This is how it works. So this is what your frame can help you achieve. So the next thing I want to do is let me delete this. After frame, we have section. You can section. We'll talk about that when we go in detail. So the next one is your shape. So when you click on your shape tool, you see different shape tools like the rectangle, just like I drew the last time. So you see your ellipse tool. You can draw your ellipse when you hold shift. Sorry about that. So you can just get any shape you want. I'm trying to teach you how to go about your design environment. So I'm drawing an arrow. Remember, whatever you selected, you see the property on this side, so you can edit for that. So if I want to change the color of this box, I'll just come here and give it the color of my choice. If I want to change the color of this ellipse, I'll just come here, go to the fill, I'll give it blue, and that's that. So you could just change it to whatever you want. I think this is cool. So we're going to talk about the properties in a short while. So there's an arrow here. I can increase the weight maybe to 7, so you can see it properly. So that's that. You can give it a stroke color. Let's give it light blue. So you see what it looks like. So this is what your environment look like. Figma is very easy to use. All you just need to do is to understand the environment. So there are other shapes you can get. You can get polygon. Let's draw a rectangle. I'll make hold shift to make it equal. So you can increase the size of the polygon from the property. So we have 3 count. You can make it 6. That's an hexagon. You can just do more. So the next thing is we have star. So these are basic shapes you might need for your designs. I believe you've seen some website that has review. So it's something like this they put in that design, a star like this. So if you want to do a review now, I could just give it a yellow color like this. This is better. No. Okay, so I can just duplicate this, pressing alternate and dragging. If I press Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. So this is how you get your. Don't worry, we're going to do design as we make progress in this training, but I'm just introducing you to the environment. So this is how you get the shapes for your design. So if you want to place an image or video, you can click on place image. I prefer copying and pasting. But if you want to place from your laptop, you can just click here and it takes you to your folder, your system folder, where you can select the image. Let me quickly select an image if I have one. Okay, I'll just go to pictures. Let's play with this image. When you click on open, you can just put your image like this. So this is how it works. That's for select image under your tools. So we've done. Okay, let's do line. You can just click and drag to draw. So that's for your shape tools. Let me select the rectangle. Okay, I'll press V for move, or I click here too. So with this, I can give this maybe a yellow line, or green is fine. Let me make this 7 so it will be bold. So we have our shapes all set. So remember, we design inside frames. So I've shown you how to get your frames by clicking the frame tool, or you press F. If I press F now, it takes me to the frame, so I can select any frame of my choice. But let me press V to go back to move. Alright, so very quickly, let's talk about the properties before we go to the next two. So when you click on any of these shapes, you have the property on this part. So if let's say you are designing inside a frame, let me duplicate this by holding alternate. I'll reduce this a bit. Let me press K to scale. So if this is my shape, let's say I'm doing a website, for instance. So let's play with the properties. So if I click here, okay, it's on scale. Let me press V. So this part shows I want to align to the left. You see what's happening? This part shows I want to align to the center. This part shows I want to align right. This part shows I want to align top. align, vertically horizontal, align this, let's take this to the middle. So this is how this works. This is the alignment part. You can explore more options here. So this is the weight of this box. I can increase it to 400. You see what has happened? That's the width rather. Then I can increase the height to 400 as well. It makes it a perfect square. Then I'll align it to the middle, and this is that. So let me rescale this again. I'm pressing K to do that. So let me just keep it like this, and like this I'm pressing V. So that's for the height and the weight. This is the angle of rotation. Is on 0 degree. If I give it, let's say 40 for instance, it's going to be tilted 40 degrees. So let me take it back to 0. What do you want to improve or work on? The corner radius. This is where I get to do that. To give it 20. So this is what it looks like. So don't worry, as we go further in this training, we'll do a live design, practical design, and all of that. So this is the constraints. Let's go to the fill tool. Okay, you can give it a fill color. You can also give it a stroke color. So if I click on stroke, you can see the black stroke. Let me increase it so it will be obvious. I'll give it 5. You can see the black. So this part shows you the property of whatever you are selecting, be it an image or a shape. You understand? Okay, under the fill color we have solid fill, we have fountain fill, that's linear fill where you can mix two colors. So if I want to give this maybe pink, something like this, so I can also increase the opacity to something like this. So you can play around this. So I don't need the outline, it's not looking nice. I'll just click on minus, taking out the outline. So maybe you are designing for a brand, you can play around the brand color. I'm going to teach you all of this, don't worry. So this is just like introducing you to the environment. So under the fill as well, you can also do radial fill, you can do diamond fill, you can do what else, you can place an image inside the shape. When you select image now, you just go to your desktop, you choose the image. Let's work with this time around. When you click open, the image comes directly inside. You can also edit it. It's on fill. You can crop it or you fit it, anyone that works best for you. So when you are done, you click on that. So that's how it works. There's a lot you can do on Figma. So we're still on understanding the Figma environment. So same thing applies for the frames. When you click on the frame, you see the properties of the frame over here. You can change the frame color. You can just do your manipulations, and that's that. So whatever color you are using is going to reflect on your document color, so that in case you want to repeat such color, you don't need to stress yourself going about looking for the same color. One other way to do that is to master the hex code. So you could copy hex code. Just I'm using Ctrl+C to copy. I could give this shape the same hex with Ctrl+V. When I press enter, you see that it has taken that color. So that is how it works. So let's go back to the tools. Let me make my screen a bit friendly. Let me just delete this. So we just concluded the shape tool. So let's go to the pen tool. You use your pen tool to draw. So you can do something like this. So most of the icons you see or you'll be using, people drew them using the pen tool. So if I want to draw maybe home button, I could just do something like this. You see that when I'm done, click on done. So I've gotten my home button. I could give it a feel. I could give it a feel like this. So don't worry, we'll learn how to draw this. And so that's what the pencil does. So pencil is for serious kind of sketch. I also advise when you are learning design, try to get an external mouse. It makes your design process beautiful. Let me press my move tool. Okay, so we have this. You can give it a feel. I think it's not, it didn't get to the end, so that's why it's like that. So to make it join, I'll double click and put it on vector mode, and I'm going to drag this. Okay, so I can now have a feel when I click done. So we're just playing around this, trying to master the environment. So the next one is your text. So when you select your text tool, you just click on it and you type, my name is Prince, my. Let me zoom out. So okay, let me make this bold. Let's say 64. Okay, go back to text. My name is Obina. That's not my name. A UI UX designer. So these are you get your text. You understand? So you can get your text using your text. So there are different ways to write. You can either place it like this, or let's say you want to write a long sentence. I prefer you use text box. So when you select your text to, you click and drag. So you can now type here. Let's just look for dummy text. Do I have a plugin? Okay. My name is Prince. So this is how it looks like. So you can type inside a text, but you can adjust this and put it maybe if you are designing a website, for instance. Let's close this. I can move this here, bring this here. So don't worry, this is just practice. We are not really designing 0 0 0 0 0 into 6 places. Is black color. So that's how it works for the text too. So the next one is resources. When you select resources, it gives you access to plugins and widgets. So for now, and as well components. So you create component. For now, I don't have any plugin or widget installed since I registered this Figma recently. Okay, so we'll talk more about this in our previous module. So that's that. So you can put, okay, this is the hand tool. It helps you, it works like panning. It helps you move your designs to your desired location on the canvas. Then this one is for comments. You can add comments to your designs. Let's say I want to add comments here. I can just say use quality picture photo here. Okay, remember, you might be asking, why do we need to make comments like this? So as a UI UX designer, you are going to be working with a design team that involves your collaborators, that's people managing the product or people that own the product, the product manager, developers and all that. So when you do your design, you can just give some instructions. Normally when I put this, I'm supposed to put refer to who I'm giving this to, maybe at developer, at product manager, at collaborator and all of that. So that's how the comment section work. So this part talks about your title, the title of your project. So this is introduction, Trouduction, to Figma. I'll just save it as that. So that's how it works. I've taught you about the text tool and other tools. Please, you might not get this in the first time you are watching this video, but refer to it again, over and over again, you understand it. So this part now, okay, let's talk about this part. This part talks about the layer. So whatever I have here on my screen or my design canvas, you'll find that layer here. So if I click on Instagram posts, that's this one. If I click on iPad Pro, you see this. So everything I have here, okay, look at this MacBook Pro now. It's showing us what is inside the frame. So I have the text, which is my name is Obina. I have the rectangle that has the image inside. So I could decide to close this. Then the last one is for the iPhone. So everything you put on your design canvas appears on this layer. You understand? We'll talk more about that as we make progress. So assets, asset talks about components, icons, libraries and all of that. So when you create components or you get components from external source, you find them in this asset. You understand? In this asset layer. So okay, this is one page. You can create more pages by clicking plus. This is a new page. You can create more pages like that to infinity. So let me delete this page. I will right click and click delete, because I don't need extra page for now until I'm done with so let me delete page 2. So you can create more pages from this page part. So let me just go back to layers. Okay, so we have layers and all of that. So what else am I not talking about? Okay, like I said, this part is for the properties. So whatever I select, you see the properties here. You understand? You see, but so you can manipulate your design environment or your elements in your design canvas from this part. As we go into practical designs, you get to understand this. So I think that will be all for now. So this part is also talking about creating components. So maybe you want to create a button. Okay, let's just do a practical before I end this section. So let's say I want to create a button. For instance, I'll just come here and type button. Then I'll just press Shift A to create an auto layout. Then I'll just give the spacing, let's say 30. Is 30 fine? Okay, this is space between item, Control Z. I want to increase the frame. I'll hold Control and increase the frame like this. Okay, so could keep this in the middle. So if once I'm creating a button like this, let me give it a curve edge, like let's say 30. It's 30 fine. Okay, let me give it an outline first of all. Okay, 30 is not bad. Let me give it a fill color. I'll work with, let's give, no, Okay, let's try this. Okay, this is not bad. So I'll try to make, I'm already doing my manipulation from this property region. So let me make this 40. I want it to be very curved. Okay, this is fine. So if I have this as my button, for instance, let's say I'll call this sign up, SIGNUP, sign up button. It looks too big. Let me give this, let's say 24. So if I have this as my button, okay, let me give this is the padding value, let's say 40. 40 is too big, 20 is fine. Okay, my curve is now looking too big. Let's give this 20. Don't worry if you are confused, don't worry, we've not really started designing. So if this is my button, I could just let me make this small letter, sign up. I could just make this a component by creating no, Control Z. When I select my frame, I'll just create component. So this is my button component already. So if I come to assets, you can see button here, right? So let me rename this frame to button, BUTTON. So this is my button component. So if I want to create more buttons, let's say I want to do something like this. Okay, let me reduce this to, oh, it's already 30 minutes. Let's say 40. Okay, no. Let me use the K to scale it. So if I want to do something like this, I could bring this button out from the component here. That's sign up. I could bring more. Are you seeing how the component is working? So I could do something like this. So let's say this is hire me, HIRAME. So these are the components. So we'll stop here for now. Maybe as we make progress, we'll talk about prototype. So this is just normal design. So what if you are done designing and you want to share your link to maybe collaborators or stakeholders? You can just click on share and you'll be able to copy your link. Are you seeing copy link? So when you copy link, they can view it. You can also make it editable. So depending on what you want, so you copy your link and you share. So that'll be all for now. So I believe with what I've said so far, you've been able to understand, at least to an extent, the environment, the Figma environment. So I'll stop here for now and we'll continue in the next module. So thank you very much for signing up for this course. I wish you all the best in your UI UX design career. Have a great day. See you on the better side of life.